Yes, here we are, back at it. Or should I say, welcome to the Practical Training Podcast with yours truly, Mike Bell, Mr. Mike Bell, Mike with PTPGun.com. Call me whatever you want. Just don't call me late for dinner. That's right. That's my kind of humor right there, baby. Yes, let's get started. What is up, my PTP brothers and sisters? Man, we are so blessed, and I am so fortunate to be able to talk with you today. Let me be straight with you right off the jump here, all right? If you came here to talk about your feelings, your mama, or your girlfriend, or anything like that, you're wrong, okay? If you came here to talk about COVID, or Trump, or BLM, or Biden, or this, or that, or anything else, you guessed it, you're wrong, all right? It's fake news. We ain't going to be bringing it up around here. It's not that kind of podcast, okay? Now, we are here to talk about the greatest, okay, threat neutralizer, force multiplier, game killer, war winner, right? The greatest thing that our legendary founding fathers fought and died for. That is, as I'm sure you know by now, firearms, okay? Firearms. Now, I'm sure you're wondering, who the hell is this guy? Who's this guy on the other side of my radio? Who's the other guy? Who's this guy on my phone right now or on my computer right now? Who the hell is this guy talking to me through my speakers in my car on my way to work? Who the hell is this guy? Well, I'm Mike Bell, right? Host of the Practical Training Podcast, where we talk about all things firearms and firearms related. All the really cool, awesome things in the world of firearms, all right? Now, who am I? Well, I'm a God-fearing, okay, Second Amendment loving, armed service veteran, father, right? Range instructor, whenever I can get the time off from work and I can volunteer to help my buddies out, right? All those things. Veteran. I think I said that one already. You get the point. I am a God-fearing, Second Amendment loving, armed service veteran of the greatest country ever to bless God's green earth. That's right, the United States of America. All right? Now, I support the most prestigious firearms training and instruction company in the Mid-Atlantic region. Okay? Now, I'm sure you're familiar with PTPGun.com, the home of practical training professionals. If not, all right, you should be. Okay? If you are that guy right now, don't worry. All right? Don't worry. If you don't know what PTPGun.com is, don't worry, all right? There are links down in the notes to get you there. I'm going to walk you through it. It's super simple. I've never heard of an easier web address to memorize than this one, PTPGun.com, all right? Super simple. Get over there, hit that subscribe button, check out what the offerings are there. Head over to the YouTube channel, PTP Firearms Training. Super, super simple stuff, guys. And the reason I'm telling you that is because next week when you come back, as I'm sure you're going to, we're going to start making fun of all those people that ain't found the show yet. All right. You don't want to be that guy. Trust me. If you're in the military, you know what being that guy means. All right. And you don't want that to be you. Okay. Now, you guys know a little bit about me. All right. And as we get going on the show, you guys keep coming back week after week. I'm sure you'll learn a lot more. But I'm not going to give it to you all on the first date, if you know what I mean. Again, another little piece of my humor right there. You guys are going to have to keep coming back, right, to figure out the true story, the full picture of Mike Bell, all right? But what I want to know, this side of the show, what I want to know is who you are, all right? What made you want to click on this show? What made you want to hit that link? What made you want to subscribe, right? What brought you here? What are you here to talk about? Firearms, firearms training, range training, right? Targets, new products and stuff, right? We'll get to that in a minute. I want you to join us. In fact, rather, I want to join you in building a community of brotherhood around firearms, and I can't join the fun if you don't tell me where the party is. So hit that subscribe button, drop down in the comments, and come on over every time. And let me tell you something. You got to hit that subscribe button so that little thing, it goes ding, and it lets you know that we're either about to go live or new episodes posted or something like that. Hit that subscribe button, guys. Drop down the comments and come over to the YouTube channel for a little, area where we can shake it up a little bit, okay? You can find us on YouTube by searching PTP Firearms Training. It's super simple. You can't get any simpler than that, guys. While you're there, you'll see myself. You'll see some other awesome people in the world of firearms training and stuff like that. You'll also see Ryan Gass, the founder of Practical Training Professionals. He himself is a veteran, right? United States Marine Corps. So make sure you're sending him them crowns. You know how they get a little hungry, all right? He's also a veteran, right? Veteran of the Marine Corps. Awesome guy. He's been at it. He's been doing this firearms training stuff for quite a while now. All right. And we're going to have him on the show periodically to talk about what PTPGun.com is outside of what I could offer up, right? Because he is the mind behind the madness. All right. Now, head on over there to YouTube. You're going to see some pretty cool stuff. All right. So that's what the show's kind of about, right? We're going to get into what the show's about. It's a little bit about myself, a little bit about where to find us, all right? PTPGun.com or PTP Firearms Training on YouTube. You'll be able to find us on either of those two things. Make sure you subscribe so you can find out more about the show. Again, it's an intro episode. I got to put that stuff out there for you guys. I promise I'm not going to be plugging it so hard every episode from here on out. Bear with us, okay? Now, enough of the small talk. Let's get down to the real stuff, the reason why you guys are here, all right? What the hell is this show about? Why should I give you that? Why should I hit that subscribe button? What's in it for me, okay? Well, let me tell you, all right? In the course of this show, each week, we're going to be discussing new and noteworthy topics surrounding firearms and firearms training. Now, wouldn't it be cool if we could just talk about firearms all the time? Let me tell you why we got to talk about the training. And it's not that we got to, it's our duty. It's our obligation to talk about training. I think about it like this, guys. Okay? If you got a Maserati sitting out there in the garage, but you don't know how to drive a stick shift, what do you really have? All right? You don't got it. You don't got it. It doesn't do you any good. It doesn't do the people you love. It doesn't do anybody any favors to own a firearm and not know how to use the damn thing, to not to be trained how to effectively use, carry, clean, all those other things, your firearm, all right? And we'll get into the reason more as the show evolves. We'll get into the reason why the training part is so paramount to understanding it, right? It's like a language. It's like, I know a lot of you guys probably took Spanish or something like that in high school, but you forgot everything you learned, right? It's like a language. If you don't practice, you forget, okay? It's not like riding a bike, all right? So we'll get into the training part of it as the show progresses. I promise you we're going to talk about training and why training is so invaluable to owning a firearm and practicing and exercise, all that stuff, all right? We'll get into that. But that's one of the topics, all right? Training is something we'll get into. Most of the topics, all the topics are going to be surrounded around firearms training, but we're going to talk about firearms, all right? First aid, okay? New and noteworthy stuff. So what's coming out from a certain prolific range instructor or firearms manufacturer or some product that's out there that's really going to help us elevate our game, right? That new and noteworthy stuff, we're going to talk about that. As I mentioned, I'm a veteran of the armed services. The owner of PTPGun.com, Ryan Gass, he's a veteran of the armed services. We would be remiss if we didn't talk about the military. All right, at least a little bit, right? We'll be keying in on some of that stuff, okay? We'll be talking about the military. We're going to talk about self-defense, all right? Address force with force, all right? Use of force, different stuff like that. It's all paramount, and we will get into that and where that applies. But firearms for self-defense and all things self-defense, okay, we're going to be talking about. We'll talk about concealed carry and why that one kind of matters to me. Well, it matters to me for a lot of reasons, but one of the main reasons I like talking about concealed carry is this, all right? So I grew up, and here's a little teaser, right? A little bit more about me, all right? I grew up in Arizona, so I'm a desert rat, and Arizona is the land of constitutional carry. Everybody I grew up with, kids, their parents, everybody, right, had a gun. A lot of people carried, a lot of people didn't. A lot of people had firearms in their vehicles, or I'm sure they had them in their house, right? Like everybody, guns were just a part of life out in Arizona, right? And when I moved out here, I relocated to the Mid-Atlantic. You know, the hoops you have to jump through in order to get your concealed carry permit are mind blowing to me. And I don't necessarily understand it. Okay. And we'll get into that as the show goes on. All right. But concealed carry is one of the topics we will be talking about. All right. Looming gun control. All right. That's, again, people are listening to the show from all over the country, perhaps the world. Okay. So it's not just going to be gun control, looming gun control here in the Mid-Atlantic region, but it's going to be across the country. All right. We're going to be keeping our eyes on who is doing their best to infringe upon our rights. All right. We're going to be keeping an eye on that, letting you guys know what's coming up, what you need to address. For instance, okay, right now you can come to a PTPGun.com training course. You can get your license to carry in several different states. All right. And you could do that here in Maryland, right? You can come to one of the classes in Maryland or Virginia or wherever, and you could be certified to carry in those other states. What happens if that changes? How's that going to affect you? We'll be talking about stuff like that, okay? We're going to talk about Second Amendment and Second Amendment law. What rulings are in place right now that are in favor of the Second Amendment that help us to better exercise our right without having to pay a fee to exercise a right, okay? And, you know, firearms, they're not just for self-defense. They're not just for home defense. They're not just something that law enforcement officers carry, the military uses, right? Firearms cover all different paths of life, recreational shooting, right? 3-gun, long rifle, different stuff like that. Those different kinds of competitions, we'll be talking about stuff like that. And we will also get into one of my favorite parts of firearm ownership is hunting. You know, right now it's June. It's hot as hell outside. Nobody wants to be sitting out in the woods. At least not me, not in Southern Maryland. But as the year comes on, we get into fall, we get into winter. We're certainly going to be talking about hunting and ways to effectively use your firearm hunting. We're going to have some people come on the show to talk about that. And something that I'm doing here, and I'm going to expect you guys to drop down the comments and tell me if I need to stop this or do more of it or keep it going or something like that. But something I'm going to be doing every week, okay, is Mike's favorite firearm or firearm-related item of the week. So each week I'm going to pick something that's really giving me a two-way, I'm not going to use the word I want to use here, but it's really got my juices flowing, all right? And we're going to feature that up on the podcast and then over on the YouTube, all right? And also, in addition to talking about those things we just talked about, right? Firearms, first aid, new and noteworthy, military, self-defense, concealed carry, looming gun control, two-way law, hunting, all that other stuff, right? Aside from talking about all that, we're going to have on some truly awesome guests, and they're going to come on to discuss all those topics we just talked about, plus a lot more, right? Stuff that I didn't just capture in the notes right here for this episode. And some of these guys, right? So any one of you right now listening can jump on YouTube and hit firearms training, right? Or awesome firearm stuff, right? And there's going to be 1,000 YouTube creators that pop up and show you some really cool stuff, all right? Some of those people are going to be on the show. A lot of the people that we have on the show, I'm sure you've heard of, all right? Some of them you should have heard of, right? Like Massad Ayoob, right? You should know who that is. If you don't, stay tuned. In fact, Google that and then come back next week and be prepared to talk about some of this stuff, right? Massad Ayoob, all right? Badass, all right? We're going to talk about him. If you haven't heard of him, you should have. And then kind of like my favorite guest that's going to be coming on the show, favorite group of guests, I should say, they're going to be coming on the show are what I like to call little firearms ninjas, okay? These are the firearms guys that you never saw coming, right? They're up and coming, if you will, right? And Ryan and I, we've got together and we've evaluated some of these people, say, man, that's somebody to keep an eye on. That's somebody that's coming up in the ranks. Now I need to pause right here real quick because I'm watching the recording going on here and I'm thinking to myself, like, what's going on with the camera, right? Well, let me tell you guys something. So you audio only guys that are listening, head on over to YouTube and check this out. You'll know what I'm talking about. But you guys watching on YouTube and on PTPGun.com, you guys will know what I'm talking about. So this camera that you're looking at right here is side profile, right? You're seeing this from the side. Why is that? All right. So give me a second. I'll jump over to the other camera. Look at that. If it was just this all day, what you would see is my ugly mug in front of a massive microphone. All right, let me get out of that. All right. Ryan and I dumped some serious cash on getting the best microphones, the best mixers, the best gear, everything, because we want to put out the best possible product to you guys. All right. And that comes with a cost, right? As a podcaster, I need to be up on this microphone. Just something that's just the price we have to pay. So you're going to get a whole lot of this, a whole lot of side profile stuff, guys. If you don't like that, let me know. All right, we'll change it. At the end of the day, like I said, this is about community building, right? This is me joining you. All right, this is me coming over your headphones, over your speakers, right? On your cell phone while you're sitting down on the toilet, right? Scrolling through, you got nothing better to check out. I need to know what's going to work out best for you, and I'm going to make that happen. All right. Community is such a huge thing at PTPGun.com, at Practical Training Professionals, right? Whether it's the gun buffets where there's, 50 to 100 people that all show up and get to try out, tens, hundreds of firearms to figure out which one they really like, or it's the banquets afterward, it's the crab cooks, it's the barbecue, the chicken, it's all that stuff, right? It's about bringing people together, about forming a brother and sisterhood surrounded and centered on firearms. It is a community, all right? And that's what I need here. I want to join in the community. I want to know what you guys think about the show, what other topics we could be talking about. If there's a specific firearm that you guys say, man, I can't get my hands on that, but I'd really like to see a review on it. Let Mike, Ryan, come on the podcast. Let me know what you guys think about this particular firearm. Or maybe it's a new optic, or maybe it's a target, or maybe it's a range that you can't afford to travel to, or you just can't get the time off work to travel to. Let us know, okay? We will go and visit that place. We'll bring on the range instructor. We'll make it happen, guys. It's all about delivering information to you guys. It's all about the community. It's not going to do me any good to sit here and talk into this microphone if the stuff I'm saying isn't what you want to hear. So make sure you're dropping down those comments, guys. Let us know. Send us a message. Send me an email directly, mike@ptpgun.com. Super simple, right? Let us know about that stuff, because this is all about the community, okay? Now, as I mentioned, like I said, each week we're going to do Mike's favorite firearm or firearm-related item of the week. All right, so this week, let's just jump right into it, guys. If you're watching on the stream, or not the stream, you guys watching on the video here, a little teaser, we will be live streaming in the future, okay? But if you're watching on the stream or watching on the video, all right, you'll see what I'm talking about. And I'm going to do my best for you audio-only guys to let you guys know, or to show you what I'm describing on the screen. All right, so here we go. Let's bounce over here. Mike's favorite firearm-related item of the week, okay, is the Ruger Model 57. Now, man, this thing is a beast, all right? Why do I like the Ruger 57? It's simple, okay? Because you get the FN's 5.7 without having to pay the effing price. And you could say it just like I said it. You don't have to pay the effing price, okay? Nothing wrong with the FN 5.7. Let me tell you guys something. That is a awesome firearm. I love it. All right. But it is pricey. This MSRP on the Ruger Model 57 is on the website. It says $849. Okay. But I've seen them down in the $700 range. You could jump on to Brownells. In fact, I got that tab pulled up here. Let me pull it up for you guys here. Over on Brownells, they got it at $799. But I'm telling you, if you guys head down to like J&J Firearms here in Mechanicsville. In fact, I encourage you to go to J&J Firearms here in Mechanicsville, Maryland. Support those and support us. Those are some great people over there. What I'm telling you is you could probably get this gun. It says $799 on Brownells. You could go to your local FFL, probably get this thing for around that, somewhere between $700 and $750. All right. It comes with magazines. You're good to go on that. And another reason why I like this gun so much is because, as you can guess, based on the model name, it's chambered in 5.7 by 28. Right. It's an awesome round. Not sure if you guys have had the opportunity to shoot any 5.7 yet, but if you haven't, you need to. It's awesome, man. So accurate. It's got good stopping power. This episode isn't about that round. We'll end up talking about the 5.7 round and all the things that it has to offer. But today we're talking about the Ruger Model 57. It does shoot the 5.7 round. Love that. The rifle comes, the pistol comes with with a 20+1 capacity or a 10+1 capacity, depending on your state's compliance. And I'll say that again. You can get it in 20+1 or 10+1, depending on your state compliance. What that means is that they do sell 20-round magazines for this pistol. All right, so make sure you guys are keeping your eyes out for that. Another thing I really like about it is it has first of all, it's safe. It's got an easy takedown with no tools, and you don't have to do the trigger pull, right? So it takes down very simply, all right, with no tools, nothing like that. And another big feature that I like about it is it does have, if you're familiar with the 1911, it does have the ambidextrous safety, right? So if you're left-handed or right-handed, you could access that safety. Now, let me pause on that for a second. I want to give you guys a little insight into my mind, all right? I personally prefer a firearm with a safety on it. Now, I know a lot of people, they say that is a safety is another step in the process that could possibly cost your life, right? It's like keeping a round chambered, one in the barrel, or, as they say. As taking the time to rack a round may be all the time it takes to lose your life, so too taking the time to disengage a safety may cost you your life as well. I don't necessarily, I guess I could see that, sure. But if you practice, you train, again, as we said, right, you need to be training with the firearms. If you train on removing that safety on the draw, right, it's not wasting any more time, right? It's coming out, safety's off whenever it's drawn, right? But I prefer to have a firearm with safety just for those just-in-case moments, right? Just in case I pull my firearm out and I sit it down, and then some knucklehead or some kid or one of my kids, I do have 3 kids, somebody just happens to walk up, grab, boom, squeeze the trigger on accident. Bad news, right? I prefer a firearm with safety. This firearm does have, similar to that 1911 style, it does have the ambidextrous safety. It's on either side. So there's no excuses there, right? Another thing I like about it is it has has adjustable sights, right? So a lot of pistols, especially when you get down into like the concealed carry size, again, for those of you not being able to see this on the screen here, this is a full body pistol, right? So consider that if you're shopping and you're looking for something that's more concealed carry size, okay, this is a full body. So if you're used to concealed carry inside the waistband or other, make sure that you're considering that. But another thing I like about this is the sights. It's got adjustable sights, front, rear, right? So you can adjust the windage and all that other stuff. You can, really dial in your sight picture and your zero. Awesome with this little pistol. Some of the more small body, small frame pistols, right? Or even some of the Glocks, right? They've got that front sight post, non-adjustable rear post. And what a lot of people do is they just use white paint on that front sight post to better help them, acquire a good sight picture. You don't need to worry about this on the Ruger, all right? The sights are awesome. They're fully adjustable. Another added thing here, and I guess most people are thinking this is pretty standard nowadays, but it does have the Picatinny style. You can't just say Picatinny anymore. It's a Picatinny style accessory rail there on the lower guard there. Not lower guard, lower, down there in front of the trigger well, right? And for pairing with your favorite light, favorite laser, favorite whatever. It's got that. So that's a good thing, right? Again, if you're going to bolt anything like that onto your pistol, I encourage you to train with that. Practice drawing with it. If you have a different holster or something like that, it's going to accommodate the sight or the light or the optic or anything like that. Make sure you're checking that out. Another cool thing for the ambidextrous stuff is this, right? So it's got the reversible magazine release, which is really cool because, a lot of left-handed people out there. And when you got to try to like fumble with the magazine release if it's an offhand firearm, right? That's going to just cause trouble. This, you could pop it out easily, easy peasy, lemon squeezy, right? You pop it out, you flip it around. Now you do have a fully ambidextrous pistol. Mag release and safety, fully ambidextrous on this pistol. Love that. All right. Another thing to note about this, right, is this is something I want, and most of you guys listening to this, you're already firearms enthusiasts. You're well aware of a lot of this stuff. But it's just something a lot of people don't consider, right? So the 5.7 round is longer than your 9mm, your 40 and stuff like that, right? It's a different shape. It's shaped more like a rifle round. And I know Ryan Gass is going to be putting out the difference between round shapes here in a blog or a video pretty soon, so stay tuned for that. But this does have a longer round, and this is something you guys have to consider. When you step up the size on your round, that round needs a larger magazine to house it. With a larger magazine, you're looking at a larger grip. So if you have small hands, small palms, short fingers, it's going to be difficult at times to really step up to one of like a Desert Eagle or something like that, a really big round. It's going to be hard for you to get good grip on that. But what I want to note about the Ruger Model 57 is this. Despite the longer cartridge, the trigger reach is no longer than many of the common 9mm Luger handguns, right? All of the controls are very accessible with this, right? And the last thing here I really want to kind of point out to you guys is this. As we get going on the show, you guys are going to learn a lot more about me. As I probably mentioned this already. If I haven't, I'm an Arizona desert rat, right? Land of constitutional carry. What I like about Ruger and why they get extra points for me is because Ruger is based out in Arizona out of Prescott. And there's a lot of really it's wide open country out there. So there's a lot of really cool ranges out in Arizona. And if you're up in the northern reaches of Arizona, you'll see a lot of these ranges. Ruger will actually come out and sponsor like 3-gun events and different stuff like that. Ruger's very involved. They're an American pistol company right out of Arizona. Love them to death. So they're going to get bonus points for that from me too. I love the Ruger 57. I hope to get my hands on one pretty soon. I've shot 5.7 before. I have not got an opportunity to shoot the Ruger Model 57 yet, but I'm going to go down to JMJ and I'm going to see if they can't get one on the shelves and maybe let me borrow it. I'll do a breakdown video and show you guys all about that. All right. So anything else you need to know about the Ruger Model 57, it's going to be down in the show notes. You guys can find it there. You can find the links. Click on that, head on over and check that out. Okay. Now, okay, guys, you know a little bit about me. You know a little bit about the show. You're kind of getting the flavor of the way things are going to roll here, the tempo of the show, stuff like that. Things are going to be changing, right? And when we bring guests in studio, the layout's going to be a little bit different. They're going to have, 2 cameras and stuff for you video guys, you audio guys, nothing's going to change, right? But the tempo will change a little bit. It'll be more QA. And then when we try to do, more product description, stuff like that, I'll be able to add that into the video and really do the breakdown and stuff like that. But it doesn't really make for a great podcast content. So guys, if you're only listening to the audio, I encourage you to go over to the YouTube and get subscribed there. You'll be able to see more content, better. When I say better, I mean by this, right? You'll be able to see hands-on on some of these firearms that you're just not going to be able to get over the podcast only. But make sure you're subscribed to the podcast, right? Make sure you're giving us a 5-star review there. Make sure you're heading over to the YouTube and getting subscribed there to get those alerts. Turn on the notifications. All right, guys. Now you know what to expect from me. I have some expectations as well. I expect to see you guys down in the comments. I expect to see you guys next week as the show gets started in earnest. Okay. I need to know what stuff you want to talk about. I need to know, am I doing right? Am I doing wrong? What should we change? Do you hate the intro music? Do you want a different scene on the freaking, on the camera here? Do you want to see something different? I don't know. Let me know. All right. Let's talk about it. Get down in the comments, guys. I expect it. I want to see you guys down there. Make sure you're checking that out. Make sure you're checking out PTPGun.com, PTPGun.com, PTPGun.com. I can't say that enough. Make sure you guys are getting over there and checking that out. All right. It's pretty imperative. And the YouTube, you should already be there. It's good stuff. Shit, what else? Man, you know what? I'm going to tell you guys something. I think that about wraps up the show. So, yeah. With that, guys, we're out here.